Today topic that we'll be talking about is basic principle to modern application. Pretty much why I am doing that is to try uh, to bring closer the principle of how the Apex apps don't have to be just dull and straight away recognized as application express applications, right? So the idea is not many of us are CSS gurus and maybe we are Apex experts, right? Certified and everything, but we are hesitant to go CSS way, and every time we have to do something with CSS, we're like saying, rather someone else do it for us, right? And the point of presentation is we want to challenge us and you guys as well that there's nothing to be afraid of. So literally, Apex is a tool that pretty much we can all enjoy using, and it's so simple and delivers most of it out of the box, right? Uh, Without further ado, let me go ahead and just go through a little bit, like two sentences about myself. I've been pretty much for the past 10 years been involved in Australian Oracle user group, trying to help organize things around Apex, either conferences. I've been a content chair. I tried organizing webinars. I've tried to help the board and committee as much as I could. Also, I've organized Apex meetups there. During some free time that I have, I usually try to blog as much as I can. Other than that, I try to be a regular conference speaker, same as for webinars, right? And I think the last webinar I done for OD tag was back in 2015, so it's going to be roughly 4 years now. So it's another great moment for me. Thank you. Other than that, I've been elected or joined the program for Oracle ACE. So if you don't know what it is, it's like a 3-tier program that by your contributions, pretty much Oracle is acknowledging your contribution for community and stuff that you do, which is nice to see. The agenda for today is simple, and I'll try. It's very hard and complex to get it across, and I'll do my best to be clear as possible and give as much details as needed. There's two ways how we can do this. We can do demo, we can do a little bit of theory. Before, I'll probably going to do theory just to give the beefy bit first, and then we're going to jump in and see how we can utilize that in a real demo application, right? What I want to say is that usually so before we start in, I want to jump into a section of news, just a quick sum up of what has been happening like for past few weeks. You probably all heard it. There was an application early adopter so for 19.2 available. If you registered and sign up, you could have tried, or you can still try the early adopter. And I think apex.oracle.com was upgraded to it in the past week, which means the new release is not too far away. So some people were expecting it to be last week. It didn't happen. Maybe it's going to happen this week. So it's exciting times for all of us, right? It's great to see 19.2 coming up soon. So it's exciting times. Another thing that I'm looking forward is there's a Apex tour happening in Australia, Korea, and Japan in November. And pretty much if you guys happen to be around down under Melbourne, Brisbane, or Sydney, please join us. So Shakib and Christina are coming down, which is awesome to see. So we had David's in June, David Peak coming down and having a workshop. Now we have Christina and Shakib, so definitely something to look forward to. So let's go into a first thing before we jump into CSS and heavy bits is hopefully I'm going to be trying to concentrate on the right hand side, which is 80 to 100%. So pretty much the story behind this image is it's borrowed from apex.world. One of the links there has this image, which I always use for people to just try to bring across or give like to put a statement that if you're an Oracle Apex, not Apex developer, but if you're just Oracle developer, like Forms developer or PL SQL developer, pretty much you are already on the left hand side, or there's very little you need. So you're roughly at about 60% of the base knowledge needed to be a proficient Apex developer, right? And today talks will be less about left side, it will be more about this closing down the gap of last 20, which is how do we use CSS to modernize and make our apps be as user expect, which is responsive, versatile, and not boring by no means, right? Perfect. All good. Before we go a little bit deeper, just a brief history note or mention is if you were lucky or unlucky like me that you started with Apex 3, at the time it was great because we had a new, like newish tool that we were all excited about, but working with teams at that point was really hard. And I'm hoping that for people who are new to Apex or just started from Apex 5, that this will be a little bit of background for you. So just that's why I brought it, like I have it here. The beauty of, so we started having like I think 20 something teams. Each of the team had many templates, and this is team 2, for example, and there's like button templates. I think this is a real production, so application that we still support, and there's like probably 10 or 15 different button templates you see. The way it used to work, we would have themes which would contain templates, and every time you wanted to change something, you would copy it over, which would then lead down to everybody have their own personal version of template, and none others could use it, which was a nightmare to maintain, right? So, and then luckily at 4.2 was first step towards like modernizing and getting Apex to the modern age, right? But then definitely with Universal Team, things started to come together. Pretty much it's still a team. It's called Team 42, but we know it as Universal Team, right? And why is it number 42, like Team 42? Is because the 42 is the answer to life, universe, and everything, which is a famous quote, right? And the bottom line is what Shakib and the team wanted to do is make our application and design of the app responsive, versatile, and easy to customize. That's the very important bit. And pretty much once we started, or once we got into Universal Team, modifying and working with our teams slightly changed. And why? Because we, instead of having teams and templates, we now have theme styles and template options, right? I won't go into details. If you guys are familiar with Universal Theme, it's just going to be helpful in this session. If you haven't, so I recommend my colleagues, Tyson Jugler had a session a few weeks ago that we're going to make available for you to sort of have an overview or have a look if you haven't had the chance to join us at that time. So definitely have a look at that one, and pretty much customizing or customization of themes in Universal Theme is much easier now. That's the bottom line, and that's why as we got Universal Theme, people starting up like creating styles, and there's a apexthemestyles.com website where you can find some of them, where some of the famous names of Apex community like Vincent or Daniel or Shakib even have the theme styles here, so you can download and try them out. I don't know if they're production ready, but it's just to showcase how easily you can do this by using a theme roller, for example. And since we go to Universal Theme, it's good that people starting to challenge even further than just Universal Theme. So why wouldn't we do it the other way? And there's another concept in web design, which is called material design by Google. I won't go into details why and how. There's a website called materialapex.com created by Vincent Moreau, which gives you an example and pretty much a working application that you can download and apply to your own apps and use throughout, even in production, right? use with caution and just try it out before you jump into it. I would probably prefer or recommend that you use universal theme over this one, just because it's maintained by Apex team, not by individuals, right? So, but definitely it's great to see that people are challenging and pushing the limits, right?